Hi there, welcome back to On the Flip Side. My name is Adam Shellwalker, your host, and today we are going to be checking out the new Failure album, Wild Type Droid. After their comeback album in 2015, The Heart is a Monster, released, the future of Failure seemed a bit tenuous at best. That album was a solid release, but seemed inherently linked to their work from before their hiatus, with Sieg tracks that carried over in series from their final album of the 90s, Fantastic Planets. Their next album, In the Future Your Body Will Be the Furthest Thing From Your Mind, had the same unbroken thread that seemingly held it to the same or at least a similar expectation as their older records. So it seems with this new album that we've entered into a fuller, more confident era for this band. They're apparently here to stay, and with that foot in the door, they're starting to push their sound in a more unfamiliar area than before. There's of course a distinct sound the band has always brought to the table, which is here, but there's so much more that this album has to offer on top of that signature sound. So let's dig more into the tracks. The first song on the album is Water with Hands. This track is a great album starter with a nice subtle groove and some excellent low-end work. The drum work on this song is tight and blends really well with the lush bass and guitar parts. I think this is a great tone-setting track and immediately sets this album apart as a fresh take on what is a tried and true formula for these guys. The second track, Headstand, is a killer song with a meaty bass hook that draws from a really raw and emotive range of sound. I haven't really touched on any of the lyrics yet, but they all are very reminiscent of like a Radiohead style sound in that they convey emotion but don't necessarily always have a direct meaning. The song wraps up on a fairly jam-heavy section that is really beautiful and sounds massive. I love how the chorus floats over this segment and trails off into the next song, A Lifetime of Joy, which is really the only interlude song on this album, but it's still kind of got its own lyrics and flow. It's incredibly pretty and has a delicate sound that I absolutely love. I think this is a great little bite-sized song, and I'm glad it's included on the record. The next song, Submarines, is an incredibly rock-heavy track that lands right in that 90s Alice in Chains style sound. This song sounds like it could have come out 30 years ago, but simultaneously sounds like it came out today. There's a lot of parallels that you could draw to even heavier music. The vocals on the track in a few parts are very similar to some of the parts from the latest Mastodon record. This is a pretty great song, one of the better tracks on the album. Next up is Bring Back the Sound. This song strips itself back for a cool acoustic intro with some nice arpeggio work. This track is a great start into a decline in energy for the record. It seems that there's a kind of shift at this point in the record in how the songs flow to slower and drearier soundscapes. It's a cool descent, and I think they really pull it off quite nicely. I love the lyricism on this track. Not only do the instrumentals become darker in tone, but the lyric work becomes incredibly despondent. They have a way of reaching into you and plucking those emotional chords and letting things ring for this track. It's really great work. Next song is Mercury Mouth. This song continues the slow wind down of depressive themes, with the main focus on this track for being coping with like liars and searching for truths. I think it's kind of interesting how they've been keeping their motif of space rock while also managing to bring other more tangible themes into their work. I think this song is a little bit more straightforward than most of the songs on the album, which isn't really a bad thing, but it does seem like a bit of an odd pacing issue. Other than that, decent song. Up next is Undecided. This song has a fantastic dramatic instrumental track. I love the slow swing this song has. It's kind of like a David Lynch dream sequence. The whole song glows with this ethereal touch, and it's truly an otherworldly sound. It's one of my favorite songs in the band's catalog, in my opinion. The lyrics on this one piece so well together with the instrumentals. This is just such a great song for them. The next song is Long Division. This is a killer sonic throwback with an intro super reminiscent of another space song. The vocals on this song are absolutely the highlight of this album for me. The range and nuance of the delivery is flooring. There's so much in this song that just takes the established canon of this band and their sound and refines it to such a high peak that I can't help but feel that if this is the direction that this band is moving, that the best is yet to come. This is absolutely brilliant. I love this track. Up next is Bad Translation. This song has some great deep-cutting chords that lead the track. The bass work on this song leads the track for a really cool, slow-building song. The themes of disconnection are really cool in this track as well. It's a great piece that feels incredibly relevant, especially in today's world. The line, "Earth was our last chance," sticks out to me as one of the best lyrics on this album. The way they've managed to approach such a melancholy topic and make it sound so dreamy is really incredible. The final song is Half Moon. This song is such a brilliant album closer. I almost can't believe how good this track is. This song is so raw and intense with how open it leaves itself. The slow building acoustic piece is beautiful, and the way the song pieces itself together is actually breathtaking. I wish I could listen to this song for the first time every time. It's like Sonic Honey. This is Fantastic. So there you have it. Failure have taken leaps and bounds and strapped themselves into a trebuchet of growth and have put out, in my opinion, the best album since their reformation and certainly one of the best albums of their career. I do think the best is yet to come, which is incredibly exciting, and I'm very glad the band has unlinked themselves from their legacy material, as it was, in my opinion, one of the last things stifling their creative growth. Wild-type Droid is a solid 9 out of 10. Thank you all so much again for watching. I appreciate the feedback I get from all of you guys. I realize in the last upload I managed to completely fuck up the fact that the new Cynic record does in fact have a real drummer on it and not a drum machine, so sorry about that. And thank you again to the commenter who pointed it out. Thank you all so much again. I do still have my Reverb store up and active, and I'm shipping things out from there all the time. The link to that is in my description below, as well as the link to my Instagram, which is below as well. Thank you, and we'll see you on the flip side.